The people, welcome to the channel. It's Rad. And first things first, I do like to apologize for the last time that I had to recall the stream or call it whatever you like. It's just the camera didn't want it to make a connection with the PC. And you know, I am usually a not exactly tidy person. Okay, I would even call myself rather very sloppy when it comes to maintain order in my place, but my electronics, mate, I do tend to keep them in rather immaculate station, so to speak, in immaculate condition. I I don't know, maybe I care for them more than I cared for any girl I went out with. That's just the comparison here, because I really take care of them. And what happened to be the issue was that there was some garbage within the connector. So that was the last place I looked at. And when I cleaned it out, it worked like a charm. But it was too late back then. It was 40 minutes in. So yeah. In any case, hopefully that won't happen again. And starting out today's live stream, that's going to be the weekly reading, covering up the week 3rd to 9th of June. And the cards for it, for the collective reading, you can look at the thumbnail of the live stream, but I'm going to show them to you in any case. And the first one, which I drew a few hours ago, that is a 4 of Pentacles. Followed by the second card, which is the Ace of Cups. And the third one that I drew, that is 3 of Pentacles. Good morning, Miss Devon. So that will be... Hey, Yasmin. It will be kind of good week. It will be kind of a good week, and I'm saying kind of because there are other people involved as well. Okay, it's not just gonna be up to us, so to speak. And there are gonna be some discussions, for a lack of better expression here, discussions which will involve criticism. Okay, take it that way. At work, people that you're working with, discussions in between you and them, and criticism, constructive, that is, what is about, you know, what can be improved, so to speak. And weirdly, that criticism which we are to receive and that we are which to give as well, because it's going to go both ways. Okay, so we are going to receive criticism about us, but we are also going to shoot out some of our own bullets. And weirdly enough, this will not disturb us. Even on the contrary, the first thought that we're going to have is, why didn't you say so up until this point? You know, why all the jests now, why all the signs, so to speak, instead of just, you know, saying it out loud that you don't like that, or you think that this is going to be better, and so on and so forth. I mean, by all means. And these discussions are going to provide a fruitful cooperations moving forward, whether these are cooperations in between friends, whether they are in between colleagues, whether they are in between mates. I mean, soulmates, love mates, you name it. But what is transforming into an unpleasant experience when it comes to human interactions within our lives will get back on track and will start getting pleasant. And so that will be especially true for these kind of situations and relationships you have where you think that things are going south and you are say resentful about it. I mean, you would not wish them to go south, because, you know, we all have these relationships where we don't really care. I mean, if it goes well, it's okay, but if it goes south, whatever, right? But what we're talking about here are relationships that we all value to one or another extent. And the thought that, you know, they are going the wrong way will be taken back, for the lack of better expression. So bottom line here is that through these fruitful discussions, we are about to see that actually things are going to go good. You know, kind of like going to go back in normal range, and even more than normal range. That is that tarot. Okay, is that tarot? It's called gold foil tarot. Bear in mind though, there are a lot of versions of it. Okay, there are a lot of versions which do have the same freaking name, and you buy one thing, you think that you are gonna get that tarot, and you get another version of the tarot. Many of my friends seeing that deck wanted to buy one for themselves, and they all got some kind of different version of it. So be very careful when you buy it, and opt for this cover, right? That's the cover of the deck that I'm using. But there are a lot of them, and they are called all different names. So, all the same name, I'm sorry. There are a lot of different versions of it. So now there are going to be 12 readings, as per usual, one for each star sign. I'm going to start with Aries and end up with Pisces. Bear in mind, these are readings for your star sign, so very seldom that information will happen to be a straightaway answer to your questions. So use it as a guidance and as a point of fulcrum to open your eyes for other options available. But if you do wish your personal situation to be a subject of my tarot interpretation, you can go to my website, which link you will find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you can see a full list of my services and as well their pricing. And other than that, if you do enjoy the show and you do wish to support us, you can do so using either a PayPal or a super chat, just like Yasmin did. Thank you, Yasmin. And as well, News Devon, Yasmin with 20, News Devon with £5. Thank you, girls. I'm going to put you into the list. And at the end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading. Anyone who does support the stream that way will have a personalized reading at the end of it. That's guaranteed. Right, so first a star sign that I'm going to read for, that's going to be Aries. Yeah, they are beautiful, Nancy. I mean, they are even much more beautiful in real. I mean, the camera cannot even captivate their beauty. Okay, because they are glossy and they reflect lights in a kind of like very weird way, and it's just the camera cannot captivate their real beauty. All right, Eight of Swords, first one, followed by the King of Cups. And the third one, that's going to be the Eight of Wands. Well, for what those cards are showing here for Aries, this week is going to be a quest for something better. Okay? A quest for something that none in your surroundings, so to speak, is offering you at that point, or nothing within your surrounding is offering you at that point. Now, this quest doesn't have to be new heights. That quest could be simply renegotiating and asking for more, for on its own accord it's not offered more to you. But bottom line for you, Aries, is that within this week, you alone guys, by breaking down some limitations that have been bestowed, whether by the rules of the interaction, whether by yourself, because these are very often a very self-imposed limitations, okay, that one has based on their principles, say, or moral code, whatever the case. Hey, Taco. Welcome to the stream, mate. I hope that you are doing well, because last time we talked, you didn't sound it that way. So I hope that you do improved since 2 days ago. In any case, these limitations, whether imposed on the rules of the interaction, or whether self-imposed, are going to be brought down. And once brought down, you will see a how can I put it into words, a wider range, wider varieties or options available in front of you to move forward with your things. So it's going to be a good week for you, Aries. Bottom line is that you will see that if a situation has a capacity, right now you're working at top of, right, just to top it off, 60% at max, but you can go for more, and you are about to go for more. Taco, thank you for the $33.33. Thank you, Taco. Let me put you into the list, mate. And at the end of the stream, you'll have your personalized reading. Well, for as long as it's surely, then that's awesome, mate. For as long as it's surely. All right, Taurus. Because I have some health concerns about myself as well. And a week or two from now, I probably will go in for extensive testing. Hell, I can even share what's my health concern, guys. From that side, along the ribs, it moves all the time, all right? But along the ribs, I have a sensation that someone is putting their fingers there. And it's kind of different. You know, when I am walking, it localizes over here. When I am sitting, it localizes at the solar split. When I am laying down, it goes along the rib. So it's kind of different every time. But it's it varies depending on what position on the body I do have, which the only thing that what sign are well, I'm Scorpio. Well, it's probably a gallbladder. All right, a gallbladder or whatever you call it, that thing on the liver that you do have. There are stones in it, and you know, it inflames, and you do have that sensation. It's probably because the other options, they aren't good, guys. They aren't good at all. And I don't feel that bad for the other options. Okay, I just don't feel that bad for the other options, because one of the options is a colon cancer, and I don't feel that bad. Just let's not talk about it, okay? Let's first do the tests, and yeah. Taurus, Four of Pentacles. Ten of Swords. And the Empress. or I don't have a rib contusion, right? I don't have a rib contusion, and I don't know what it is, but we are going to see. Yeah, let's think positively. Okay, so those are uh, the forecast. Right now, it's right here, right? I feel the sensation right here, right now. So Four of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Empress. This is the edge is taken off. So that week, the edge is gonna be taken off from situations for you, Taurus, where you kind of feel, with long story short, with your back against those situations. For example, where you're finding yourself in a position either to take it or either to leave it. And it's kind of like you do have that sensation of either way is going to be super drastic. So you may hope that there will be some kind of middle ground. Okay. And within this week, that kind of a middle ground is gonna open up for you, and this kind of a middle ground will allow you to sustain the situation for a very long time. Okay. And the current situation for a very long time, and that way, pretty much, for one or another words, you will avoid the unredeemable. Okay, because with the other version, if the Ten of Swords gets into motion, that is next to the Four of Pentacles, that is a pure destruction where one annihilates a future they worked for. And this annihilation comes from a rush choice or drastic action, whatever the case, which you are put with your back against the wall to do, and frantically looking for a option, okay, for some kind of a mild approach. That option is about to come within this upcoming week for you, Taurus. So you are about to avoid some kind of a disaster here. Okay, next, Gemini. Could be a minor thing, yeah. Well, funny thing, Pisces Moonbeam, is that I do have that sensation for years, right? I do have that sensation for years. Now, I think 5 years or something like this. And funny thing is that it never bothered me, because it comes and goes, all right? And it is it's most active when I am kind of like, I do have that posture when I lay down and play video games. And then it is most pronounced. But when I do stop doing it, and when I do lay down, because when I do lay down, it's almost non-existent. But remember, guys, a month ago or a couple of months ago, I don't remember how long it was. I think it was a month ago. I do have kidney crisis, and I had to take some meds, actually quite extensive cocktail of meds, so I can go through the crisis, because the pain was, unbearable. And right after the crisis passed away, it escalated. Instead of just having it here, it shooted down on the whole of the side. It kind of like it had that weird, like, I don't know how to even explain it. And then this escalation retracted, for lack of better words, is now back to normal. But it kind of scared me. So I will go and check it out. Thank you, Jen. But I do think it's a gallbladder. The gallbladder goes along that way, and it infuses, okay, the stomach juice through the solar split, behind the solar split. My grandmother that passed away, God rest her soul, she had a gallbladder crisis, and it was just at the same place. It was at the solar split, like knives going through it. So I'm almost positive it's a gallbladder, but I am not a doctor at the end of the day. Okay, so we do have Temperance followed by Knight of Pentacles. And then it's gonna be the Eight of Pentacles. So that's a bit of a, it's a bit of a difficult interpretation. Give me a second, guys. Oh yeah, Taco, there is no healing it. Once it starts going down, it gotta be removed. That's, I think, the only organ that there is no treatment for it. It's just, it gotta be removed. Like the appendix, same thing. Yeah, let's check it out for what it is, Taco. A couple of weeks from now, maybe. So it is about a, when it comes to Gemini, it's like skipping, you know, that week is going to be a week where you can skip. Now, it's a difficult interpretation because I don't know how to express it really, but I don't know what kind of a school you are, guys, who are studying back in the days, but my school wasn't exactly the best school ever. And when we were skipping classes, literally we had no consequences whatsoever, right? Because we knew that the school didn't have any kids, and our grade was just on the verge of falling apart. What I mean is that we were the minimum count required in order to form a grade, okay? And so we knew that we can't be expelled. It's just, it doesn't matter how many I don't know how you call it in English, but non-presence, so to speak, you can have 200 for all you care, and you ain't gonna be expelled. They can't type you F because you can't fail, because if you fail, the school fails, and yeah, and there was no repercussions, so to speak, by a skipping. Well, same thing we have here for you as well, but I'm not talking class, I'm talking about details, right? So that week, I'm not saying that you're not gonna see the details, but the details and attending to the details may look a bit extreme to you. So if you do decide to skip the details, according to these cards at least, there will be no repercussions because you will find other way around. That is like finding a way around to those kind of a details of your matters that you do not like and that they feel too much of a hassle to be bothered with, right? And bottom line here for you, Gemini, is that this week you will just gonna make yourself and make your life far more easier and comfortable and acceptable and compassionate towards you than before. Another thing which is a bit of a so to speak, a very isolated cases, because I'm saying that because not all of you Gemini are going to experience that, but some of you are going to find yourself shocked that your opinion, which have been chastised by that point, is actually starting to be accepted. Okay. Cancer. I don't know what is BPC 157, Nancy. Apple cider. I don't think that alcohol is something, I don't know. In Pisces Moonbeam, we don't know what can't hurt and what can. Because fatty food, now if it is the gallbladder, it's gonna hurt a lot to the recovery, that is. So we don't know what can hurt or not, and what is wrong with me or what it isn't. So I was just gonna live my life the way I lived it by this point, and whenever the diagnosis comes about, I will deal with it, whatever it is. Page of Cups for Cancer, Nine of Cups, and then we do have Page of Wands. It's a good week for Cancer, because for what those cards are showing, first things first, guys, there are going to be a lot of activities around you. So the last thing you can call your week as about is going to be boring, right? Never heard of it, Nancy. I prefer not to ingest myself with chemistry if I don't have to. Doesn't matter if it is, how do you call it? Herbs, because they are chemistry as well. It doesn't matter if it is, oh my god, I forgot what kind of how people called it. Not pediatric, something similar to that. Pediatrician is for children. Well, it will come to me. But I prefer not to ingest myself with chemistry at all. So, like I said, for Cancer, no boring or no rest for the wicked, so to speak. But the good thing, guys, is that within the week itself, you will have a super keen sense. What is the thing you are gonna like? For example, I'm just giving you an example. It's not gonna be boring within your social circle. Many people wanna kind of like spend time with you. I'm not talking about just intimacy, right? It may not be intimacy, but just hanging out and whatnot. Homeopathy, exactly. Even I don't go for homeopathy either. Jen, thank you. So, few people that you can spend time with, doesn't matter. And you will have a very keen sense of which person with you will have the best time over, right? And so from all of the numerous activities, from all the dynamic that you are going to be subject of, at least according to these cards, you will be able to choose those activities which are going to make you most happy. But most of you will find even bigger happiness within the deeds they are already involved in. So most of you will not gonna feel necessity or necessary to be a part of that dynamic, and that dynamic will come as an annoyance than any of the other things. Okay, and as a result, you will make a very good maintenance. You will make a very good maintenance toward the relationships that makes you happy, toward the hobbies that makes you happy, and that maintenance will allow these things to make you even more happier. If it is necessary, Taco, then yes, I am not anti-meds, okay? I am just not toward a meds that I don't know that I need. Because, you know, our our people, I mean Bulgarians, we do have a very poor medicine culture, or I don't know how to put it into words, because one thing about the communism, guys, because 30 years ago we were under a communist rule. One good thing about the communism, it is that you can get whatever medicine you want, right? You don't even need a prescription. You go to the pharmacy, you say I need an antibiotic, they give you an antibiotic. I need a painkiller, they give you painkiller. They give you literally everything you want without asking any kind of question. I mean, at least in terms of a medicine, there was everything. And so people, when get cold, what is the first thing they do? They start chugging up and popping up antibiotics, oblivious to the fact that antibiotics they don't cure cold. All right? And any kind of other, pills that we are popping. And I am strongly against that. I don't want to pop any kind of pills that I don't know that I need, and I am not fully aware of what kind of extent of damages they can do, because everything does damage. Every chemistry you put in, whether necessary or not, that it is not produced by your body, does damage. Yeah, well, Colombia was a communist country, wasn't it? So there you go. Mattia, thank you for the 20. Thank you, Mattia. Let me put you into the stream. Into the list, that is. But yeah, one good thing about the communism was the meds. And the healthcare in general. Oh, my mom was telling me, you feel ill, you get admitted, and until your body numbers like blood pressure and hemoglobin, whatever the case, are not in norm for a week, you do not get discharged. Okay, at some point it feels like a prison, but you are in it until you do not get fully cured. Right now, hospitals are like companies, okay, in the democracy. They're not even a med facilities. In our country, they are corporations. I shit you not. In the law, they are written as a corporations. Right. So Leo first. Yeah, but yeah, I saw it. Will be a general reading for the month of June. Let me put that. The Lovers, Four of Cups, and then we do have Six of Cups. So these three cards for Leo here. Ah, it's disgusting, Taco. And your health insurance covers some, say, diseases and illness and whatnot, but it doesn't cover others. And many people which are cancer ill, they are left without treatment because their health coverage doesn't cover the treatment they need. And it's not because they paid less, because it just doesn't cover it. No one health insurance cover it. It's disturbing. I don't want to get into it. It's really disturbing, especially when you see little children and the government or the country says, you know what, I wouldn't care if you live or die. It's so disgusting. But we're gonna buy some cars, you know, for the prime ministers and whatnot. Never mind that one of these cars can cover 3 of these children's treatments. It's just not within the law. Anyway, for Leo, it's going to be kind of bizarre week, for lack of better expression, here, because within this week, guys, concerns that you're facing, and I'm talking about day-to-day problems that you're facing, doesn't matter of the nature. They're gonna start resolving themselves on their own accord for you. Now, the reason will be a bit awkward, because for what those cards are showing here is it's not that the problem is going to be truly resolved, just you will not gonna care anymore. For a reason being is that you are going to be within a harmony with your surrounding. So your surrounding is gonna suit you the way it is. It's gonna start suiting you the way pretty much it is. And because I'm a video game player, you know, and there was one video game for PlayStation where the main character said, oh, the way how you don't get disappointed if you don't have any expectations, and no expectations you will have as well, and therefore no expectations, no concerns, no problems. But that is going to give you, or is going to put you in a very unique position, okay? Because within this week you will have to make a decision, whether to make it or break it, whether to stay or go, or just a decision what to do. Whichever one you choose is going to work for you. Yeah, Jen, it's whenever chemistry is involved, again, it does damages. Because whatever substance is not produced within the body and doesn't have the necessary enzyme as a trigger, it's registered as a toxin by the liver and by the kidneys as well, because these 2 organs are filtering the toxins out, and that damages them, primarily them, especially antibiotics, painkillers, and acetaminophen as well. Acetaminophen is highly toxic to the liver. Probably you all heard that investigation of Tylenol poisoning, where people were poisoning themselves with Tylenol. It's all over YouTube. I mean, you can check it out. That is because of the acetaminophen popping up pills every 2 hours. You get overdosed, your liver shuts down, acute liver failure. Next, we do have Virgo. High Priestess. The Wheel of Fortune. And then it is the Hierophant. So those three cards. It's pretty weird, actually. Hey, Jasmine. It's pretty weird because for many star signs now, there is that variety. You know, one of the star signs is going to burst out and make that variety for themselves. The other star sign is not going to want that variety. Well, for you, Libra, you do also, Virgo, you do also have a lot of options in front of you, or the week itself is going to present a lot of options in front of you. But here is the thing. You're going to be well delved into already developing process to have the opportunity to take safely those options which are in front of you, unless you do not want to pretty much sever and forlorn that process. Let me put you into an example here. Think of it that way. You're going out with someone, you know, dating out with someone, and things are starting to get pretty serious. So you're quite into the process here of establishing an intimate relationship, and suddenly, you know, you do have other options to go out with, to date out with people. And so while you do have those options, you will have to sacrifice the one that you are already developing, and you are halfway through, let's put it that way. And you have even more, you may not realize it, but according to these cards, you do have your name on the line here, right? If you do go by and sacrifice that thing, you are to be remembered for. And somewhere along the way, people will find it rather difficult to trust you, okay? Or certain people will find it difficult to pretty much trust you. Hello, Jasmine. Yes, you can. Just give me a second, guys. All right. Jasmine, let me put you into a list. All right. So for you, Virgo, it's important to get your things through within this week. And according to these cards, these processes, whether dating right now or whether working out for a job, you know, or establishing business, whatever case, for what those cards are showing here, they are gonna stick for a very long time as the pollution of your name if you opt to get out right now. All right, moving next. Libra. Uh, the Emperor, 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands. All right, it's a good week for Libra. A lot of responsibilities, a lot of rewards. And that is the definition where one is working smart rather than hard, right? So from a side, it will look like that you are steaming up and that you are doing so much work. You are living up to so much expectations. While from your point of view is gonna be, it's just a thing. It's just a piece of cake. And so without breaking too much sweat, because I can't say that you are not going to break sweat, but not too much, at the very least. Without breaking too much sweat, you are about to impress people. You are about to impress your boss, person you're going out with, your family, whatever the case, okay? And that impression that you are going to do, a very, very positive impression, will give you the power to establish control. Or at certain point to dictate how things are gonna go forward, and it will allow you to mitigate the downs and to amplify the ups. So whatever ups and downs, you're gonna have more of the ups and far less of the downs. Okay, so this is gonna be a super good week for you guys, where whomever didn't believe in you that you are gonna live up to your promise, or you will fit within the standards, or you are just going to cover up the expectations, you are going to surprise them pretty much. Poor you, Mattia, poor you. That was sarcastic, of course. Have a great one. With the salt bath, I never took one of those. I don't even know what the feeling is. Probably like a normal bath with the salt water. All right, Scorpio. King of Wands, Page of Wands, Queen of Cups. Oh yeah, with the electrolytes, it definitely helps. It's just because the electrolytes can be absorbed through the skin. You don't have to drink them, and it definitely helps for the recovery. It's just I am trying to kind of like live this sensation. I don't know if it's any different than the normal bath. The sensation of the salt water. But it definitely helps. I have no doubt in it. Well, for Scorpio isn't gonna be that good of an experience for us guys, because I am Scorpio, okay? And it's not gonna be a good experience because this is gonna be one of the weeks where we will have to say one too many times, you know what? Don't bother. I will do it myself. Because it's just people are not gonna be fit, right? People aren't gonna be fit to carry out what is expected of them from us. And I'm not talking about that we are going to be any tyrannical or any kind of sort of pushy or anything like that. These are just the normal interactions, for lack of better words. And so that's going to be one of these weeks where we are going to again convince ourselves or figure out for ourselves that if you do want to do something right that fits up with your own expectations, then you better do it yourself, because no one else is going to. Okay. And yeah, that's going to be a lonely week. And the worst it is that an opinion we do have over a person that we do consider a pretty close friend. It could be as well a family member. It could be destroyed. That depends on how sensitive we are. And one thing that it is very specific, so it may not happen to all of us, secrets at this discretion we may think we have, it's not there. And so we may think that, that sensitive information we shared with that person is safe. Well, they are whispering it all around. Good thing it is that I don't have many friends. Oh, and all of my information is out there. I don't have any secrets. Hello, Chandra. Thank you for the 20. Thank you, Chandra. Let me put you into the list. Okay. Moving next. Sagittarius. And by the way, back to the Matthias topic. All these energetic drinks that are supposed to hydrate you, they need to have a salty taste for them to be real, okay? Because the salt, the potassium, I believe, it's or sodium, no, the sodium, it's what actually does the job within them. And it has a salty taste. Because there is a YouTube videos for the science behind. I don't want to talk about it, but basically there is an imbalance in between potassium and sodium within the body, and those drinks or the bath that Mathieu is taking is supposed to recover. Well, Taco, I would prefer the filet mignon, right? You can have your ribeye. I would take the filet mignon. Yeah. Give me a. Let me draw the cards first. 6 of Wands. The Queen of Swords. And the King of Swords. Hello guys, we all talk about how I don't know how to put it into words. Yeah, you see, you can, if I come to visit you, Taco, you can have the ribeye for as long as you have a filet mignon for me. So, back to Sagittarius. Guys, we all talk about how there are things we just don't do, right? We are following some kind of a code and whatnot. But when push comes to shove, we are that person today. Okay? Say you do not burst out at work. Well, you do today because things are getting out of hand. I am just giving it as an example, but that is not what's gonna happen to you. Okay? Because you will do some things within this week that you aren't gonna be exactly proud of. I'm not saying that there are gonna be any unlawful things or any can I put it into words, dishonorable things, or even any conniving. Okay, they're just gonna be things that has to be done. And you will be rewarded and recognized for that you have acted so-called professionally. And now that I think of, there is a movie probably I'm gonna put to watch it again. It's called, it's an old one. I think it's a 2004 or 2005, and it's called Drag Me to Hell. So what is about that movie? It is that there is that very old gypsy woman that goes within the bank to ask for extension for their mortgage or foreclosure on their home. And on the other side of the stall, it's a young girl. It's a young lady that it is fighting for a promotion. And the old woman is kind of like really begging and saying that they were not going to have anywhere to live and whatnot. And the woman really wants to give her that extension, but the thing is that an extension had been given 3 times, right? And after these 3 times, it is up to the agent to decide. And she asks the manager, you know, is it okay if I do give her an extension? And he says, you are within your power to do that, but a manager needs to have the guts to make the tough calls, right? This isn't a manager decision because we are not a charity, we are a business, right? And so she denies the extension, and the old woman curses her, in its sense, a demon to drag her soul back to hell. It's a very good movie. Watch it, guys. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a very good movie. Her, not him. Her, the girl, not the man, not the manager agent, but the girl. So you have to make some kind of a calls like that or do things like that, okay, that are putting, for example, your colleague in a uncomfortable position, that are basically doing the right thing for the universe, not for the person. Because we do have that Queen of Swords, which is in a very powerful position to the Six of Wands, and that is exactly the situation that I have described, where you do have, you do know by the book what needs to be done in order to push your agenda, your thing through. Do you have the guts to do it? And if you do, then you will be recognized and rewarded for it. Not the way that, you know, that girl was rewarded in the movie, but in a good way. You are to be rewarded. And some bonds are to be expected, by the way. And when I do say bonds, I mean connections. Connections that will serve you very well further down the road in the future. But yeah, Yasmin, Drag Me to Hell was a very good movie. And I shit you not, I don't maintain contact with that person, but I was a part of an astrological group. I'm still a part of that astrological group. It's Bulgarian group. And it was very active back in the days, but not very active right now. And we were doing retreats, and at those retreats I came to know a person who ended up being a Satanist. And like I said, I shit you not, he had the exact same freaking curse. But it is not like within the movie, but it is actually about the same demon. It's for the Lamia demon, right? So it's for the same demon to send it after someone. It's freaking spooky. What is Sam Raimi? Is that a movie? If it is, I'm gonna check out for it. Capricorn. Five of Swords. Six of Pentacles. I like the start. And the Five of Pentacles. I like it. But how do I translate it? Ah, okay. I get it now. By gosh, I don't remember when when was the last good horror movie that I watched. It was probably It, but the first part, It Part 1. Because It Part 2 was so bad. It was so bad. Because when I watched It Part 1, guys, I sat in the cinema, because I have read the books, and I sat in the cinema and said, finally, all right, finally we do have a director, we do have a producer, we do have a team that actually respects and values the source material and goes by the source material. And comes It Part 2 and all that thrown out of the window. Bullshit after bullshit. In fact, it has nothing to do with the book. This isn't just how the only true thing to the book within the second movie is that they went down in that sewer. That's the only thing that it is true with the book. Terrible. It's, you know, the same story with the Wheel of Time. The only true thing to the book, it's just the names, right? Nothing has just nothing to do with the book. It's completely different thing. On its own merit, it could be good, but that's just not it. That's not how its Part 2 develops. So back to Capricorn. We do have an expression in our country, when you show your teeth, you know, and that is about this growl that people do. 'Cause when you are pushed, you know, when you are pushed and you are grinning, trying to diffuse the situation, you are grinning, you are grinning, and when you are shoved, then you are showing your real teeth. You are showing your true colors, I believe it is how you Americans are saying it. When you now, instead of grinning, you are growling, and now it's kind of like an aggressive posture. And through it seems that you are going to put people at their places. So these are going to be victories within this week. Victories over other subjects, over other individuals. Victories, for example, over our child that is getting too far with their demands, over your spouse or over your colleagues, or say over your lover if you do have any, and so on and so forth. But these are victories that you will accomplish Bear in mind that in some cases they could be Pyrrhic ones. If you don't know what Pyrrhic victory is, that is a victory where you gain less than you actually exhaust in the process. No, Yasmin, with it part 2, there is no imagination. All right, there is no imagination. For example, the ritual chute was completely different thing. It had nothing to do with what they showed it within the movie. The the whole how can I put it into words? The whole process of the second book is over one night, and it's developed within some kind of a cafeteria or some kind of a bar. I don't remember it how it starts, but then it splits. And actually within this bar, they are trying to figure out through memories how to deal with the creature, right? And there are no totems in it. It's just it's so they haven't visited their old places or anything like that. It was just different. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true. But if you are to do adaptation, in my opinion, you gotta stick to the story. The very least, you gotta stick to the story, the chain of happenings, so to speak. You can add or take, but you can't change the story. That is not being an adaptation. That is twist. That is reimagining, so to speak. Remake, or whatever you want to call it, but it is not an adaptation. Good adaptation, Lord of the Rings. Okay, the battle on the Helm's Deep happened. Frodo was in Bree. Frodo was in Rivendell. From there, he went to the Mirkwoods, and so on and so forth. And all that is within the movie. All right, it has a chain of happenings, just as within the books. Aquarius. The Death, the Chariot, and the Two of Wands. Those 3 cards, guys. So within this week, for you Aquarius, will be the situation where you will see that something isn't worth it anymore, right? It's not doing what it is supposed to doing. That could be a hobby, it could be a relationship you do have with a person. The thing about the Death card, it's that it could be literally anything, okay? And it's better to be stopped. It will cost you something, though. I mean, effort to stop it. Because with that Chariot being to the Death card, it just represents that you will have the very least a sentimental value toward that thing. Probably you will be proud of having that hobby, or proud of dating that person, or whatever, or going out with that person, whatever the case. Pride, it is the primary force here that drives it. But simultaneously, you will see that it's this thing you are trying to develop, it's not going to make your wish come true. Whether that wish is stable relationship, whether that wish is, I don't know, a successful business, whatever the case. And that Two of Wands to the Death card, it is exactly the elements of dignity saying, doesn't make any sense. Right? It's just the results are not going to make any sense for you. They may be good results, but for you, Aquarius, they're not going to make any sense whatsoever. So you may have that feel of a loss throughout the week, but alongside with it, a huge space is going to open that you can fill it up with something new, which, by the promise of the Death card, is gonna make sense, much bigger sense than what you are trying to make sense of up until this point. And when we are back on the movie thing, if you want to do something that it is your thing, but you still use source material, then do it by law, all right? For example, Rings of Power, it's done completely by law, and that's why there is so much freedom in it, okay? It is a flop, because what I do believe it is that this is a huge money laundering machine, that's that show. Because when you compare it to, for example, the House of the Dragon, of the Dragon is 10 times less expensive, and it looks 10 times better. I'm not talking about the the scenario or anything like that. When you look the visuals, it looks 10 times better. Where are those $1 billion went? I might ask, for the Rings of Power. I am completely convinced that that is a huge money laundering machine. Any case, you do it by law, just like House of Dragon also is done by a law, and you do have a lot of freedom. But when you do it by a story, like I said, with the Wheel of Time, with it and whatnot, the Walking Dead, if you will, is done by a comics, and they are, for as far as I know, they are following the comics, okay, and it was a huge hit. While if you don't follow the story, usually it's a huge bomb. It bombs in the box office, and I don't know what is so difficult for these people to understand, that every time you go away from the source material, it bombs, because people don't want to see anything different. They want to see their favorite book on the screen adapted. They don't want to see anything different. All right. Pisces. The Star. The Nine of Wands. And the Ten of Pentacles. That looks a lot like some kind of agreement, or at least for you Pisces, agreement is going to be involved within, because the cards are suggesting dependence in a good way, though, depending of someone, or in some cases of a something. But this dependence is going to be necessary in order to make your life much easier, and through that dependence as well, to put an end to a problematic, I'm not even going to talk about situation, let's put it an era, to a problematic era of your life. Say, and I'm sorry about the example here, and if I touch a nerve, but it's just, I am always giving an example with the first thing that comes to my mind. So imagine that you do have a rough time with your relationship or with your marriage. You want out, right? This isn't a situation, that is an era. Your marriage is an era of your life, and you want out because your marriage is one big problem now. So you may have to become dependent on a friend by living there, or on your family. But this dependence is going to put an end to an era of turmoil for you, because that's what we do have for you, Pisces. This week, through going into this dependence, you will end an era of turmoil for yourself. It doesn't have to be with your marriage, like I give as an example. That was just first thing that came to my mind. However, through this new development, okay, you will now gonna have the ability to have your life the way you like it, and that is how your week is gonna develop. Well, guys, let me bring some water, and I'm gonna attend to the super chat. Another show, by the way, that it is developing or is actually getting a huge hit. Jack Reacher. Why it is a huge hit? Well, because it's according to the books. I have a friend who is fan to the books, and he read all of them, I believe. And he says, yeah, I mean, it's more or less. Well, it's a lot more than a lot less by the book. Basically, the book is a scenario for the movie. And go figure, it's a huge hit. Titanic, same thing. Alongside with the book, a huge hit. Why is it so difficult to wrap your mind around it? I think it is a narcissistic nature here. I mean, whether the producer or the writers, they think that they know better, that they can tell a better freaking story than the one who actually figured out, developed, invented the world. It's mind blowing. Yeah, me too, Yasmin. I watched the 2 seasons. It's a great show. Funny thing, I watch Wheel of Time just to laugh my ass out because it's so bad. I mean, it's so bad. And sometimes I'm even crying because I'm a huge Wheel of Time nerd. I love the saga, and it breaks my heart when I see what they have done with it. It's so bad. It's so bad. Nancy, thank you for the 20 again. Thank you, Nancy. Let me put you into the list. Yeah. Or The Witcher. They went so off that their star cast left them. How can you lose Henry Cavill? Tell me, how can you lose Henry Cavill? That is like going to war without any munitions. Well, you are gonna be annihilated, of course, and now that show is annihilated because people watched it because of Henry Cavill. At least second and third season, people watched it because of Henry Cavill, and now they don't even have him. So what is there to show? Nothing. And thing it is that they are so off the story, they are so off the law, they are so off everything that there is no recovery here. There is no recovery whatsoever. And that's why they pretty much scrapping it up. 5 seasons, while the intention was, I believe, 13 seasons, something like that. And they're just, say, you know what, let's cut our losses and kind of like put some kind of an end to it, because we do have a contract. There needs to be an end. Everybody likes Henry, okay? I like Henry Cavill, the way that he acts, okay? I don't like men, but the way he acts, he's a great actor, right? He's a great actor. He has a great persona. He impersonates very, very much. I was very impressed with his acting in Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut. Okay, I like that movie. I don't know why people are hating that movie so much, but yet I am not too much in the lore of DC. Okay, and the movie on its own merits, it was a good movie. At least I liked it. And Henry Cavill performance there as Superman, as acting villainous, and after that switching up and being a good guy, it was very good. It was very well performed. In fact, I don't think that there was well, Ezra Miller was, I just don't want to comment there. I mean, that you can't even call him an actor. But everybody was with good performance. Jen, he isn't coming back. Okay, he made that abundantly clear that he isn't coming back. He's so offended by the way that they, because everybody has a soft spot when it comes to stories, all right? Like I said, mine is Wheel of Time. His is Witcher. He proclaimed it that he's probably the biggest Witcher nerd that there is today. And when he found out that there is going to be a show on Netflix, just as a rumor, he basically harassed his agent to get him on that show to secure the Witcher role for him. Even that show was just as an idea. He already made his agent, or pushed his agent, to secure his role in the show, like The Witcher. And they insulted him with the bastardization of the story. He isn't coming back. In fact, I believe that he paid damages to walk away because they had him signed for the entirety of the show, and he pulled back and paid damages. I'm not sure about the damages, right? But if you are signed up for the whole thing and you pull back, I bet you are going to be held accountable by a corporation like Netflix, for example. But he's so insulted that he didn't care. So yeah. And you know what's whom character I love the performance of? That guy that played Joffrey in the Game of Thrones. Fantastic performance of Joffrey. And I read an article that after that performance he made, he quit acting because he was so revolted by his own performance that he didn't want to go in acting anymore. I don't remember his name, but he did a fantastic, probably the best actor there, probably the best cast, alongside with Tyrion Lannister. I forgot the name of the guy that is playing it. And while we are on the topic, there is that show which is unfinished. Okay, I don't know why they didn't unfinish, why they left it unfinished. Actually, I like the show. It was called The Invasion or something like this. And there was that family there, okay, and the elder child, which is about 17 or 18 years old, was always breaking the rules. And the premise is that the world is under invasion of an alien species, and they're actually enforcing certain rules, and the punishments are very harsh if you break the rules. And that dumbass was always breaking the rules. I mean, they say don't trespass here, that's the first thing he do, right? Don't go there, that's the first thing he do. Don't say that, that's the first thing he do. And then he looks stunned, I mean, generally flabbergasted that his actions actually bear consequences and people around him suffer, because the punishments were not for the offender, but for the family of the offender. For example, cut rations, right, or certain restrictions or whatnot, you know. And he was just flabbergasted that his actions actually bore any consequences. And I was just laughing myself out because say, oh my god, he's gonna do it again, don't he? Yes, of course he's gonna do it again. And so I found myself at some points that I was watching the show just to see what kind of a punishments they're going to come up with, because there is none left. I mean, there is nothing you can take away from that family anymore. And the alien species, they always came up with something new. It was hilarious. Anyway. Okay. Super chat. Yasmin. Yasmin, by the way, for the super chat of the unevented stream, I haven't sent you the reading yet. I will. You will have it first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, so don't worry about it. Now let's see what kind of a week you're gonna have. Okay, these are the cards, Yasmin, and that relates to your work, or more likely the way you do work or you do business with a woman, right? And that will build up some kind of not a, well, it's an impression, but also it's going to build up the way that people see you as an asset. And for what the cards are showing is that people are going to evaluate, not reevaluate, but evaluate, like lifting up their opinion about you as a working force and as an asset. Because for what the cards are showing, it is that you will go an extra mile with the work that you are going to do. And that is not going to be left unnoticed, Yasmin. Okay, that is not going to be like, you don't have to, but you will. And this is going to actually make a pretty solid impression in your boss or in your supervisor or whatever the case. And the very least, at least according to these cards, you should be commended for it. Okay, so that's going to be a week where you're going to have some good results when it comes to your work, and that is the most important thing that develops within the week for you. All right, moving next, Taco. Yeah, you're welcome, Yasmin. All right, mate, those are the Lenormand cards for you. So we do have the heart, the ring, and the fox. No, it's not present. Let me check on the fox, because I'm not very certain about this card. I'm sorry, I don't usually do that, but I just need to be sure. Yeah, well, I just needed to be sure, but it doesn't. Well, look, the fox can go both ways. And the fox could be work. Therefore, this is going to be a week where you are going to work over your relationship, or it could be manipulation and lie, where within this week there is going to be a lie within your romantic relationship with your wife. Let's draw the tarot cards and see if they are going to shed some light in it. These are the tarot cards. They do represent a complete offer. A complete, like, when I say complete, I mean that nothing more can be offered, or like nothing more can be expected, nothing more can be asked. So I do believe that it is the former rather than the latter, scavenging or working for the relationship, for a lack of better expression. Okay? To accomplish the maximum that can be achieved at that particular point, whether one likes it or whether one not. One thing from the tarot cards, Taco, I mean, it's not important what people think about your relationship. What is important is how you accept each other. So that said, well, my point is that it's better, at least for that particular week, not to parade how good you are, on how good terms you are, or how bad terms you are, depending on what terms you are, in front of others. For example, sharing it with family or with friends or whatnot, and how much you love each other. It will be best if that stays in between you two. But I think that this is going to be a week where you will make some marginal success when it comes to solidifying your romantic relationship and kind of like making it just to function even better. All right, Mattia, general reading for the June. Yeah, don't brag this week. You're welcome, Taco. These are your cards, Mattia. These three. So, it falls to that what you are gonna lean toward, all right? Because within this month, I don't know how to put it into words. Okay, so I'm gonna put it that way, Mattia. Within this month, within this month, there are gonna be people that will require your attention, right? However, personal progress will be going against that. What I mean it is that getting on personal progress will require for you to put some work on yourself, not on your relationships. So, and also you are going to have some obligations which are going to also interfere with the personal relationships as well. Obligations, I mean responsibilities that you will have to tackle, which will get in a way of attending these people that are going to need your presence. I'm not saying that they're going to need you direly, just your presence, so to speak. And like I said, it depends on what you lean on, whether sacrificing a personal progress for the comfort the comfort of unity, or sacrificing unity for the sweet feeling of a personal progress. That's one thing. Other thing, it is that there are going to be results of your actions, especially when it comes to business and career, which are going to muddy the water. What I mean is that, say, up until this point, you weren't being paying attention of, well, now you are going to be paid attention of. Whether competition, whether someone that you took business from, there is going to be movement within the business that is going to muddy the water of the, say, equilibrium that it is within the business field for you. It's going to be a busy month of June for you, for what it seems, and depends on what you opt for will define how the month is going to go. Again, if you opt for relationships, then peaceful month, but with not much progress. If you opt for personal progress, then busy month, but not much of a kind of put it into words, warmth within relationships. That is how the month of June is going to be for you. All right, moving next. Jasmine, you do wish to have a Lenormand reading. So, all right. The three things which are going to happen to you, Jasmine. First one. These are the cards. That depends if you do have family. I mean, elders. Because the lilies, they stand either for elders or for sex. Whether that's going to be a phone call, authoritarian phone call from someone of your elders, right? Or whether that's going to be gossips about some kind of a sex relationship. That's the first event. Second event. It's an invitation for travel. We do have the mice, the ship, and as well the letter, right? So most likely invitation to travel, although if you are expecting inheritance, there will be some problems with the documents. Not a big thing, but still underlying issues within the documents of the inheritance. But most likely an invitation for a traveling. And the third event here, that's going to be a multiple ways to gain control over a partnership, whether to make it or to break it. Basically, for you to hold the key toward that partnership. Now, what kind of a partnership? You know, intimate partnership. The next card shows it, which is the heart, right? So intimate partnership. So you're gonna hold the keys to someone's heart, right? That's how it looks like. And those are your three events, which the third one, it does look like that to be the one with the biggest impact upon your life. Thank you. Anisha sees. Thank you. Well, it is what it is, you know. I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. I'll do what I can. But whatever it is, I'm gonna deal with it. So, yeah. Okay, next. Let me light up one, and then I'm gonna move. You're welcome, Jasmine. All right, next, Chandra. You do want general? For the week, that is. Thank you, Pisces Moonbeam. It was a bit of a rant, but you know, I just have my opinion. YouTube still, it's a platform where, if not harassment, that opinion can be expressed. Those are the cards, Chandra. It's about your social interactions, friends, you know, people that you have a good time with in general. And the cards are saying that you will deliver. Yeah, you will deliver in so many ways. And that will win you friends. In fact, for what those cards are showing, it is that within this week you will well, win is kind of like inappropriate word, but I don't know how to make a friend. Maybe you will make a friend that is gonna be loyal to the grave, at least according to these cards, and or will confirm that status of someone. And if everything else is in turmoil, at least your social circle is something you can go to. At least according to these cards. But that is a week for you, Chandra, to socialize and to really kind of like maintain the relationships with your friends and people that you do have a good time with in general. And one last thing, whatever concerns, not concerns, but kind of like sensitive informations you do share, with friends, at least for that week, is gonna be sound and safe. Oh, Pisces Moonbeam, thank you for the $2. Thank you. I think I know your question, but still. All right. Okay. Next, Nancy. You're welcome, Chandra. Okay. Those are cards. It's related to your work, actually, Nancy. And that's about, I put it away. It's either related to a work travel, okay, like negotiating some kind of a work travel, or work travel that will open up a negotiations, or it is about distributing resources that is going to open up a negotiations. And I lean a bit more toward distributing resources by the look of these cards, okay? And those distributions of resources, primarily efforts, because the effort is a resource as well. It's a resource of your time. It's a resource of your dedication, if you will, of your skill and whatnot. So through these negotiations, that distribution will be attuned, for lack of better words. Or simply said, it does look like that you are going to finally make someone do their job, right? You're finally going to make someone do their job and do their part of the deal, do their, what they have, say, said or say have had a promise. Although with that Ace of Pentacles to the Justice, it does look like that you will have to go a bit out of your way. That isn't something you consider is your thing to do. You have to do in the first place, right? So it's a bit of an annoying and aggravating week that you're going to have from that regard, but nonetheless a successful one when it comes to work and when it comes to business, especially in regards to the issues that are arising by not distributing these resources or by the slack of someone. And those concerns and issues are simply not going to be a thing anymore. All right, next, News Devon. You want to know, does he likes you? Let's check it out. You're welcome, Nancy. Those are the cards, by the way. Four of Pentacles and the Hangman. It's neutral. News Devon right now. Or let's put it that way. Right now, that person builds up a perspective over you. And this perspective is gonna last. And the best thing you can do is just be yourself. Because the last thing you want is that person to like you the way you aren't. And then you have to act, okay, in order to maintain the same thing. So right now, News Devon, it's neutral. That person either likes you or not, but you have their attention and they are building up a perspective for you to decide whether they like you or not. So to me speaks that it goes a bit deep than the skin. It goes a bit further than the skin deep here, which is always a good thing. And anyone who does so, it has serious intentions toward themselves. They don't want to mess around with just, you know, something that can happen to be just one night stand. And Pisces Moonbeam, last but not least. Intentions. The Empress, plans. Plans for long-term development. Those are the intentions. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for tonight. And thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you for the conversation as well. It was a bit of a rant, but I kind of needed it. And hopefully we're going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.